Hello, everyone. It's been a while. And I know that my YouTube app tells me that the last time I uploaded something on this channel was 9 months ago. And I would love to tell you what happened, but I'm not sure myself, honestly. I wanted to continue. I had all the intentions of continuing with this channel, as you know, probably, or maybe not. I also have a Ukrainian channel. I'm also making videos about knitting on Ukrainian channel. I also have another channel about books, as I'm a writer. I'm a published author in Ukraine. And about this channel, I had many doubts in the beginning of the year. For many people, it will not be pleasant to hear probably, but I had this issue of I have a feeling like there's in the community, in the knitting community, there is quite a lot of what I would call toxic positivity. And when you're going through great times in your life, or like even chill times in your life, let's say, when you're all good, you just want to relax with knitting after work and with knitting podcasts and like with knitting videos and just get some ideas for beautiful things, it's great. When you're going through tough times in your life, and for me, tough times, for me and for my country, it's been like 12 years. Honestly, for me, it's very difficult to keep my positive, chill environment and be so happy-go-lucky without analyzing which designers people are supporting, who people are promoting, like literally promoting and really hyping up. For me, it's very difficult to see that many knitters and many podcasters especially, sometimes they just fall back on this approach of like, no, but we're just having fun. It's just a nice hobby. It's cute. It's nice. It's pleasant, blah, blah, blah. Let's not bring the tough things into that. When you're living through the best time of your life, or even like just the normal time of your life, it's very easy to do. I agree with you. Great. I miss that. When you're living through very bad times, it's very difficult to do because for me, knitting is not just a granny hobby that I'm like kind of chilling with. For me, it's also kind of my political act, political statement. It's about my values. It's about my values in many things, about fast fashion, about overconsumption, about many things. So it also goes there, no? We also need to think about that. As the title of the video said, I would love to speak to you about everything that I made in 2025. I know that it's kind of maybe not like many people posted it by the end of the year. I didn't have this possibility. I was actually in Nepal because, as you may or may not know, my partner is Nepalese. We go to Nepal, like last 2 years we went to Nepal like all the time, like around Christmas. And so this, like 2025 was not different. I went like couple of days before Christmas on 21st, and I came back in the beginning of the year, and so I didn't have the chance to film that. So this set aside, last year, what was last year for me? I felt like I was not knitting as much as I was knitting the year before. At the same time, I feel like I accomplished many things that were kind of more labor intensive in some ways. If we speak about statistics, I knitted 2 pairs of mittens, I knitted 1 hat, 3 pairs of socks, plus baby hug booties or boots that I can kind of consider kind of socks, even though they're very little and very easy to make. I knitted 1 blanket, I knitted 3 things for children, and then I made 9 garments. Out of them, there was 1 slipover, 2 tops, 3 cardigans, and 3 sweaters, like pullover sweaters. I think I will start with the smaller things. I see many people start with garments, but I would prefer to start with the smaller items, no accessories and gift knits, in order to kind of then proceed to bigger things because I have more to tell about them probably. Okay, so first thing, as far as I can see from my statistics and everything that my notes, the first thing that I finished were these snowflake mittens. This is free pattern from Drops, and they're here on this side. They have kind of this snowflake motif, and here it's just like this. I made them in not scrap yarn, but like kind of leftover / scrap yarn. I had 2. They are made for Drops Nepal, and I had some Drops Nepal in my stash. I didn't have enough white color, so that's why, if I don't know how it shows to you on the camera, but this kind of is pink, and this is where the scrap yarn came into play. The navy color is Drops Nepal. I had 2 skeins left from, I don't remember from what, from my stripe hype sweater that I felt it and had to throw away. We're not talking about that. It was a year before. It was one of my very low moments, honestly. But anyways, so I had 2 skeins left. I used them for these mittens, and the pink accents were strand of drops Flora in kind of this like baby pink, icy pink color, and 1 strand of yarn that I don't remember right now the name of. I will insert it in the description. I think these are my first colorwork mittens that I ever made. Really happy with them. And after that, as I said, I have 2 pairs of mittens from this year, kind of like, I'm not sure how they should be called in English, because these are like fingerless mitts, no? Also mittens or whatever. I made this and this Oslo hat. This yarn is Sandnes Garn, 100% Sandnes Garn. It's Sunday and Tynn silk Mohair. I had, I think, around 3 balls of Sunday and maybe 2 of Mohair. I finished this hat last year when I came back from Nepal. I was knitting quite a lot on it in Nepal during the trip, because there you have long hours in the car normally. I cannot say that I can wear it a lot in Palermo, but I wore it a lot in Nepal, for example. I wore it when I went on a trip to, where I went to Alicante for work. In December, I wore it. And before that, I think also, like when I just finished it in the beginning of last year, I also wore it for a trip. I don't remember where, because I travel a lot for work. So this is the hat. This is my third Oslo hat. And normally I was knitting this main part longer, and this time I made it a little bit shorter. And I think this is my favorite one, because it's not too long, not too short, and it's just good size for my head, if it makes sense. And then from the leftovers, I made this fingerless mittens. I think they're called in a different way on the website, because I didn't use any pattern specifically. I used the number of stitches from, I don't remember how they're called. There's something like fingerless hand warmers, something like that, from Pearl Soho. It's a free pattern. I took only, like as an indication, I took only the number of stitches, the initial number of stitches. I made a provisional cast on somewhere here, like even here, because I was not sure how much yarn I have. And I was planning to make them a little bit longer, but in the end I didn't. So I knitted all of this part, and then I came back and I knitted down to the length that I wanted. And I made them 2 at a time. This is the way that I make things that are the same. Actually, this mittens I also made 2 at a time. This is a game changer for me. I know that many people don't like it. This is how I knit all of my socks. I don't do them separately. I don't do one and then another one, because I had the worst second sock syndrome. I would prefer not to knit socks if I couldn't do them 2 at a time. So these were 2 of my pairs of mittens from last year and 1 hat. We are done with this type of accessories for now. And after that, we have socks. As I said, made 3 pairs of socks for myself. I need to find them. Here we are. First ones are the ones that I'm probably most proud of, and I like them the most, just because they're pretty, I think, in my opinion. Here they are. These are hibernal socks from Summer Lee. I made the longer version. I think I cast on more stitches. I think it's not... Normally I was making 64 stitches. I think I made 72, if I'm not mistaken, because I wanted them to be longer. So I wanted them to be this length on the cuff. This yarn is called Mayflower, I think. It's an Italian yarn as far as I know, and I think the color was called Cocoa. So I worked on them for quite a long time. That's why I only finished 3 pairs of socks last year, but I love them. It's not a difficult pattern at all. It's not a difficult texture. It's kind of like as soon as you establish the first rows, you understand how it works, and you don't need to look at anything. You don't need to have any charts, anything like that. So beautiful socks, and this is the pattern that I'm sure I will make again. I have beautiful yarn from Regia, the Tweed yarn. I have one in this color. I have one in kind of like gray with beautiful speckles, and I have also 2 huge balls of green tweed. So I'm sure I will make more tweed socks with this pattern. And then next 2 pairs, I kind of made them without a pattern, because I wanted to experiment with certain things, with making my own socks and knowing what I like in socks. And so I made this once, I was trying to achieve the effect that Sari Nordland's Midnight Dancer socks have. I tried to make this frill. I didn't have her pattern, I didn't buy it, I just wanted to try and freestyle it. And then I just made the normal vanilla sock, how I always do. I made the contrast heels and toes. I'm kind of happy with them, but I think that next time I will try my next, my next experiment is going to be trying just 128. So to have only one row of rapid decreasing, to have this frill less frilly and maybe a little bit more concise. It's a Turkish yarn. It's Alize Artisan. This kind of like dove gray color. It's kind of like icy gray, more not dove gray, and just simple white. It's just like normal, usual sock yarn. It's good. It's doing its job, and it's great for experiments like that because it's not expensive. It's very available in Ukraine. So every time that when I manage to go and see my family, I try to buy it. And the last pair of socks, they're kind of. I just took them out today and I saw that they're quite worn, but not worn, but kind of like a little bit. I can see a little bit of pilling. You will say that they look huge. They do. I think this is it's not 72 stitches. I think it's even more. I think it's around 80 stitches. I specifically wanted to have this very big, very cozy socks for one reason. I wanted to take them with me to Nepal to wear after trekking. This was the idea why I wanted to make them. And I did. I brought them with me to Nepal. And specifically why I wanted also to use this yarn. This is Regia Premium Merino yak. This contrast heels and toes. This yarn was left from the socks that I made for my boyfriend last year. I made him just like normal, simple vanilla socks in this color. And this dark green color, it's kind of a green, a little bit brownish because yak adds this kind of like brown color. I bought in Frankfurt last year. I was in Germany for work, and then I was kind of like traveling around Germany to have few meetings with to present my books. So this is where I managed to find it because it disappeared from everywhere. Now I have a little bit in my stash because I got some gifts. I got some when I was in Ukraine. So I have some Regia, specifically Merino yak, but in general some Regia in my stash. But at that time I was so happy that I found it, and I worked on them in summer. I finished them during October. I tried to put everything together and finish all of my socks in October. I had another pair of socks that I was working on. Maybe you remember from my last podcast. It was coffee break, something like that. Socks from Charlotte Stone. I love that pattern. Unfortunately, I finished all the color work. I tried to put them on my feet, and I have quite high-rise feet. Didn't fit me at all. I tried to block them. I tried everything. Didn't work. It was kind of triggering for me because I was looking at that bag I have this one pouch. I don't have it right now with me, but I have this one kind of like project bag that I made from brocade that I bought from Thailand when I was living there many years ago. I love that small pouch because I always have my sock project there. For some time, I couldn't look at it because I knew that there is this like not big, but like kind of problematic thing in there. So in the end, during October, I just frogged them because I thought that, okay, while you still have this project that is not working for you, it's a problem. When you frog it, it's just yarn. No, it's open to new possibilities. So I don't have those socks anymore. Otherwise, I would have had 4 pairs of socks this year, but I just couldn't. Hopefully I will need them this year because I have the pattern, I have some other yarn because that one was also not as contrasty as I wanted. So it was also another consideration there. So that's why I don't have the 4th pair of socks. But instead of that, I knitted baby hug booties or baby hug boots. It's a free pattern. I learned about it from Two Pearls in a Pod, which is like one of my absolutely favorite podcasts. I will insert the photo. I made them for my boyfriend's nephew who was just recently born. I made it in advance. I made it in yellow yarn with white boucle accent. I really liked how it came out. It's a very nice pattern, actually. It's very easy, it's very nice, and you can really play with the gauge, so you can make them even like much bigger. And I think that if I will make them next time, I will try to just figure it out by myself how to knit them in the round, not to have this seam in the back. Okay, so this was the first of the gift knits. That one took me like a couple of hours. They're very easy to make, very quick to make. Next ones were, I would speak first about kid, like I named them just kid things in my list. And they were 3 absolutely identical baby bear bonnets from Pernille Larsen or Knitting for Olive. I made them in total, this pattern, I made it 4 times. up until this point in my life. And I'm pretty sure that I will make it again. Just that making them 3 in a row was kind of exhausting, in the sense that I had a feeling after that I can make them with my eyes closed in the middle of the night. Yeah, I was a little bit tired of them by the end. All 3 of them were, again, for my boyfriend's nephews in Nepal. He has many nephews. Some of them are the same age. So I made 3 hats in different colors in superwash yarn. And some of them didn't fit. That was my big fail also this year, because I don't know how. I think that the one that I made for the girl, which is in this like beautiful burgundy color, I think that one was the best fitting one. And it was the last one that I made. 2 previous ones, I don't know, something happened with my gauge, I think. And that's why they came a little bit small. Like they were on one boy, they were like, it was good for him today. Literally in 2 days, I think it will be too small on him. Next year, if we will go again to Nepal, I need to think about some other gifts, because this one was not a big success. And after that, I made a huge project that kind of took a lot of my time. When I was preparing for this video, I was thinking but what happened? Why do I have so few results from the year when I was knitting all the time, as far as I can feel? And then I remembered that for my niece in Ukraine, she turned 2 now in December, and her mom asked me to make her a blanket. A blanket that would be 100% wool, that will not be too warm, that will not be synthetic, that would be good for her. And she asked for kind of like a specific size, which was like 1 meter on 1.5 meters. I remember it as one item that I made, but if you think it was a lot of work. I decided to make, and I made a sweet shop blanket. I will insert the photo. This is the photo that is the closest to the final result. Because I don't have the final photo, because I finished it. I was there with them in the place where they live. In the morning I needed to leave. I was finishing it all after midnight. So I don't have a nice photo, but this is the most kind of like completed photo of the blanket. I used superwash yarn. It's an Italian yarn. I will leave all the information down below. I wanted to make it colorful. I wanted to make it kind of, I don't know, something that my niece can have for as many years as she would want it to have. Considering also the size, no? So it can be a nice throw blanket even for adults. And I used, I think, in total 18 balls of yarn, maybe a little bit less. I think from some, like the contrast color, I think I had like 1.5 balls left. And so let's say 16. But I used all of the contrast color, and I was planning to make it 7 squares by 9 squares. It was such a labor of love that I would not probably do for anyone else apart from my niece. Yeah, but she's my little pumpkin, so yeah. The blanket came out very nice, in my opinion. I even put a small tag saying that it was handmade with love. So I hope when she will become older, she will also enjoy that blanket as well. And from here, we go to garments. As I said, I made 9 garments in total. One of them is kind of slipover. Here it is. This is called Olive's Vest from Knitting for Olive, from their book. And if I may, I don't think that the photos that you can find in the book, in Knitting for Olive's book, does it justice. I think it's so much more beautiful in real life. I used reclaimed cashmere for this vest, and I think I got left with like, I don't even know, maybe like 10 grams of the cashmere or something like that. This used to be my home cardigan that was thrifted in this olive color, I don't know, which is very fitting, no? Knitting for Olive and everything. But I bought that, I thrifted that cardigan many years ago, and I used it as a home wear, because what can be more luxurious than home wear made of cashmere? And after some times, that cardigan was not falling apart. It didn't have holes, but after years, I could see that with wear, it started to get holes in some places, like on the elbows and everything. And so I decided to reclaim the cashmere. I brought it here with me to Palermo. Frogged it. I had to work a lot on reclaiming that yarn, because it was very thin. It was kind of like splitting, it was ripping, it was doing many things. It was a labor of love again, because I didn't want to lose that yarn. I didn't want to lose a garment that was made out of quality material. And I think this is the main point for me. This is why it's so much better to have a thrifted item, but in great quality material, than a new garment, but from a fast fashion store, because there's very little possibility that you can do it with a Zara sweater. And here I managed. This is the vest that I made, and I love it. I love the color. I love the fit. I love that it's 100% cashmere. It's so soft. It's so luxurious. And I love that it has a new life. And I also think that this color kind of suits me. Next, I made 2 tops, and they were not I didn't make them one after another one, but just in order, like kind of like in chronological order. First one, I made this one. It's Vegas top from Susan Miller or Paula Strict. And I made it in Merinocot from Lana Gatto. I had some yarn left from Trescau sweater that I made 2 years ago. I really like that yarn, and this top was, I wanted to use it. I didn't want to have leftovers. This pattern was calling exactly for like 4mm needles. So it's not like really like summer top, but it can be kind of like a base layer, shell or something like that, even after a blazer. And I wanted it to be like this, a little bit more tennis inspired or something like that, like kind of like active wear inspired, but in very nice, very pleasant yarn. And I finished it in somewhere in spring. I like it. I wore it a few times, but I have an issue with how I chose to close it here, because somehow I think I made it too tight and I don't like the feel of it. Like it's good, it's roomy, but it's not the same feel that I wanted. I will be speaking about this in my next podcast. As I'm not buying yarn for now, I'm thinking that instead of acquisitions, I will have this segment that is called Back on the Needles, or Again on the Needles, and this is going to be one of them. It's actually not that much work. I think it's going to be like maybe not even a couple of hours, an hour of watching TV. I need to frog this rib and add a couple of stitches, and then maybe make it longer, make the ribbing longer, and to close it less tightly. Overall, love it. Again, I love this color. I love how it looks. I love this contrast white trims because I think it looks very, very cool. And then I knit one like fully summer garment. It's this one. Sorry for the lines. It was hidden away because, it's not summer now. This is Margot Top by Gregoria Fibers. I made it literally in the summer, and this yarn was beautiful to work with. This is bamboo. It's called like Bombay bamboo something, and it's in this beautiful baby pink color. I love this pattern because it's all over texture. It's beautiful neckline. It's boat neck. And I think that at some point I would love to make also the black version of this, because I think in black it would be so beautiful. With this pattern, with the boat neck, I think it will be beautiful, but not necessarily next summer. After that, I have 3 cardigans. I think some of them you already saw. I'm not sure which ones, but first one was Moulinet cardigan. No, this is not Moulinet. This is Traveler's Cardigan by Ozetta. And this is like out of this world beautiful. This was kind of like my knitting from stash extravaganza because I cannot call it any different way. It has 3 different yarns. It has, first of all, Manchelopi in pink, in this pink color. I knitted 2 strands of Manchelopi. If you know, it comes in cakes, wound up with 2 strands. So I didn't need to do anything special for that. Then I have 1 strand of Lana Gatto. It's something like Silk Mohair Luxe, or something like that. It has a little bit of sparkle in it. I don't know if it will be visible on the camera, but it gives a lot of personality to this cardigan, and it's not too much. So because of everything else that is happening, it's kind of like the sparkle is there, but it's not too much. It's not like too much in your face. And the last yarn for this Tweedy bits, it's Make It Tweed from Rico Design. That is also from the stash. I was so excited when I realized that I can use all 3 of these yarns from my stash. I cannot even describe to you. Lovely cardigan. I added these white buttons from Pure and Utter Desperation, which is kind of like a new meme in the knitting community now. At some point, probably I will change it. It's a beautiful cardigan. It's a beautiful pattern. I love Ozetta's patterns. She has very kind of like my style, very chill, very kind of oversized, beautiful things. And this cardigan is so warm and so nice. I can wear it kind of as a jacket under certain circumstances. Be mindful of that I live in Sicily, so of course we don't have like -20 winters. But love it, love it, love it. It's beautiful, and I was so consumed by this project I couldn't even describe to you. I just sat on knit only on that. The next cardigan is Moulinet cardigan from Le Knit. And it was on my needles twice, because first I knitted the cardigan. It was kind of ending somewhere here, I think. No, somewhere here. And this autumn I returned to it because I realized that I wanted it to be longer, and I wanted it to have pockets, like afterthought pockets, exactly the same way that I did on my no frills cardigan. there it was a part of the pattern. So I returned back. I bought some yarn when I was in Ukraine. I will leave the name of the yarn in the description, but it's a yarn that is very easily accessible in Ukraine. I think it's like designed in the States and produced in Turkey, something like that. It's a very unusual beige, grayish color that has lots of depth. It has lots of different other colors inside of it. It has like some pink, it has some blue. It's not very visible on the camera. So it's not this kind of like just cool beige. It's very interesting, complex color. So I bought 3 more skeins of it when I was in Kiev. I added pockets. Here they are. After that pocket. After that, I added quite a lot of length and more twisted rib. And this twisted rib was not fun time, honestly. I think I need to stop doing that to myself, because I will show you another cardigan right now. I did the same thing there. I love the way twisted rib looks. I don't mind knitting it in the round. I cannot knit it flat. I not for a couple of years, I think, because I had 2 huge chunks of time that I spent knitting twisted rib flat this autumn. And honestly, no, like for a couple of years, I don't want to do it again. I think I just need to make my peace with the other types of rib. Why is that? Because I knit continental, and I knit kind of like Eastern continental. We call it like granny stitches. And for me not to have twisted stitches on the right side from the back, from the inside, I need to kind of do twisted pearls in a classical way, which for me it's not the fun time, especially with some types of yarn. So this brings me to my next finished object. This is my new turtle dove cardigan. It's quite short, and I think I need to return to it and fix it, and I don't have the energy to do that. I've made it in this beautiful tweedy, navy tweed yarn. Okay, yeah, now you can see it. It gives the best stitch definition. I don't know how come. It's a thread weight yarn almost. So I think I had it in like, I don't even remember how many. I think like either 8 or 10 threads at the same time. And I knitted this cardigan. I started it in somewhere in spring. I finished it in autumn. But again, this part, because while you're knitting it, you knit it flat. So this is just stockinette. And here you have twisted rib all along. And then you have a lot of twisted rib on the bottom. So technically, I think I would love to lengthen it and add some short rows on the back, because it's kind of like too short on the back. No, it goes a bit too up. And I have some yarn left, but I don't think I have the heart to frog it. I think I will just, I will do a sweater surgery, I think. Because no, I cannot deal with all of this twisted rib flat again. This was the last cardigan. And I would say that it brings me to the part where I would say that for this year, I would love to knit more cardigans, more kind of like slimmer, shorter, well-fitting cardigans, because I have a couple already, like I think 3, 4 like oversized, big, longer cardigans. I think I'm set for now. I need something that will be a little bit more portable, a little bit smaller, a little bit more kind of like usable throughout the year, because these long cardigans I would never wear undercoat. I will wear them on their own in this kind of like transitional periods, but not in winter. And I need something that I can wear in winter. And this brings us to my 3 sweaters that I finished last year. This is the first sweater that I finished last year. It's, again, twisted rib, but as I said, I don't mind it at all in the circle. I just mind it flat. This is Kellyganser from Sandnes Garn. They have many versions of this for different gauges. I think this is for the gauge of 4.5 millimeter needles. I used the yarn, like I'm obsessed with how it looks. It's definitely not my colors. It's not something that, like now, because of the light and camera compensation, I think it looks lighter than it is. It's a little bit kind of beigey, warmer beigey color, which is not my ideal color. But I don't care because I really like it. Here I have 1 strand of alpaca tweed from Lanar, which is a shop in Milan, and kind of like Italian brand. They make beautiful tweedy yarn. So this was it. And if you remember, last year I was obsessed with this type of tweed. Even though I think I would have preferred if it was kind of whiter or more gray than more beige. But yeah, that was what I bought. And I held it with one strand of Drops Kid Silk. This is my kind of like one before last try with Kid Silk from Drops. I still have one quantity. I have like 5 or 6 skeins in color Lemonade. I want to use it with my Nutiden this year. But I will try not to buy it anymore because it's kind of like I have a feeling I have some garments that is made with this mohair and I'm not a big fan. It's a bit scratchy, it's not very consistent, and if I already choose to add mohair, because I also kind of want to try and knit without it for some time, but if I will choose to add it, I would prefer to maybe invest a little bit more but not to have these sensory issues. Having said that, love this sweater. I wore it a couple of days ago to the office. I love it. It's very oversized. I made it like, I think it's at least 2 sizes bigger than I kind of could have worn. The neckline is kind of like, for me, a little bit of a weaker part here because when I started wearing it, it was kind of like a mock neck. And I was thinking like, I'm not feeling that. Like maybe I will try to make it into a folded collar or something like that. In the end, it kind of stretched with the weight of the sweater, and so now it's kind of more or less like this, no? So it just lies on my neck like this, kind of from here, which is not bad. I like that. And but because of that, the sleeves are even longer. I made them very oversized. That's why normally for a sweater I can use like 5 balls of mohair, so like 125 grams. I think here I have 7. Like, of course, twisted rib took a lot because it has twisted rib all like on all the raglan lines on the neck, on this part, and on the bottom. But yeah, 7 skeins is quite a lot. So that was kind of like also yarn intensive sweater. I was knitting it last year in Nepal. I took it with me there. I brought it back. Absolutely love this sweater. Beautiful pattern. Maybe somewhere in the future I will try to knit it with a different color, because I think maybe brighter color would suit me better. I finished the sweater that I was kind of planning for some time, but it was kind of like an impulsive cast on, and I finished it very quickly because it's kind of like a bigger gauge. It's this sweater. It will look like you can see that it's navy, no? But it doesn't look like much. Okay, it doesn't want to focus. Anyways, it's called Felix Pullover by Emmy Christophers. And why I wanted to make it is because of the raglan lines. It's a compound raglan. It's not just not like a straight raglan. And it has this beautiful detail on the raglan lines. You see, it's kind of like branches. And this is what really brought me to it. This yarn is of unknown origin to me. I think it's kind of like one of these Italian yarns that they sell on the cones. I bought it from a lady who was selling it on Vinted. And I bought like 2 kilos from her. So I still have a lot of it, and I'm planning to make more navy sweaters from it because navy is something that always works. And this sweater took me quite a short time. I also made it a little bit cropped because I wanted to wear it with the kind of like a satin skirt. I have one in burgundy, so I think like navy and burgundy look amazing together. One criticism about this pattern, but I think it's more about all Emmy Christophers patterns that I noticed. I think that if you I see many people complain when maybe some designers don't put inches and they put only centimeters. I see your point, but I also see the point in the other way around, no? So for me, the main issue was I kind of the pattern, I saw it on Ravelry that it was all in American size needles and only in inches. I was thinking that it was only in the description. No, it's also in the pattern. I needed to always verify which needles I need to use because for me it's not that intuitive. I'm not a designer. I'm not doing this for work. I know needle sizes in millimeters. I don't know American needle sizes just by heart. So this was kind of a little bit more of an annoying part of this knitting process, but anyways, it's finished. It's done. All good. Love this sweater, wear it quite a lot already. And the last sweater that I finished last year was this one. This is kind of like my pride and joy, but also at the same time the sweater that I didn't enjoy that much like in the process. This is sweater number 15 by My Favorite Things. It's a beautiful construction. It's kind of this Japanese or European shoulder, depends on how you prefer to call it. It has a cable also here, so on this kind of like the shoulder angle. But as I said, I didn't enjoy it as much as I was hoping, because I think, like, I love knitting textures, I love knitting cables, I love knitting lace and stuff like that. This for me was too repetitive, because if you see it, they're all the cables that are like the twists are all in the same line, in the same row. And for me, it was a little bit too repetitive, a little bit too, like, it was not mindless enough, and it was not intensive and kind of like focused enough for me to enjoy it. I think I enjoyed my Salty Days sweater a lot when I was knitting it, because it had all of these different sections that you kind of don't get bored, but you want to finish the section, but then you want to make this eyelet part that is between them and stuff like that. The yarn is some superwash yarn that I bought on Vinted. It's Italian brand, but I couldn't even find it on Ravelry. I think it's quite old, actually. And it makes me very happy, actually, because I bought it from someone who was selling it quite cheaply, and it was this beautiful kind of like burgundy color. If I wouldn't bought it and make it into a garment, it would have been probably thrown away or something, because it was kind of like, yeah, as I said, older yarn, but it was all good. And it was, unfortunately, it was superwash, but it's okay. And then I added one strand of, it's Mohair that is called Vivian by Italian brand that is called Sessia. I really like it. It's quite soft. This is color, in English it's called aubergine, in Italian it's called prugna, which is plum. But it's more or less it. Yeah, I hope you can see. It's kind of a little bit darker than merino, and I think that in this type of items, I prefer for mohair to be darker than the main yarn. That's it. That's everything that I made in 2025. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're still with me. I hope you will see this video. And see you in my next video. That will be a knitting podcast. Bye.